Hello, good morning. How are you today? Okay, ladies, today I'm showing you an explanation about scientific inquiry. This is a video to explain you more about fair test. Remember that fair test means that one thing is going to change. For example, I have two ice creams. Do I change something there? No. Both are vanilla and are in a cone. So the two ice creams are completely equal. Do I change something there? No, I didn't. So I put one ice cream in the sunlight. So one ice cream is in the sunlight. And I put the other ice cream in the darkness. Did I change something there? Yes, of course, I change one thing, and the thing is the sun and the light. So, can I measure or observe a change in the objects, in this case, in the cones? If the answer is yes, it's a fair test. And if the objects or the other things are equal, so it's a fair test. This is a real fair test. This is good. This is correct. And the question for this fair test is, what will happen if I put the ice cream in the sunlight? That is the question for our experiment. Now, I want you to see the structure of the question. What will happen if? You always need to write that in the question. So if you're making a question, this is the important part to recognize or to identify that this is not a normal question. This is a experimental question. It's a scientific inquiry question. For this, we are going to do the first activity. We are going to find the error and write the questions correctly. So you need to look at this question very, very carefully with a loupe. You need to look very carefully and see what it misses. You can see the example. You can see this. And when you find the answer and when you find the mistake or the missing word, you are going to write it here in this line. You will do this in 1, in 2, 3, 4, and in 5 questions. The 5 mistakes are different. So this is a different mistake in here. What will happen I put magnets on the TV? Look at the question, at the correct question, and find what is the missing word in here. Did you find it? If you did it, write it here. Now, let's do the second one. Will happen if I make an umbrella made of paper? Look at the question, at the correct question. Look at this. Did you find the mistake? If you did, write the answer in the next line. Now, we are going to see how to make a hypothesis. The hypothesis is the sentence that appears after the question. What will happen if I put the ice cream in the sunlight? If I put the ice cream in the sunlight, then the ice cream will melt. Then the ice cream will melt. So you need to look that the hypothesis starts with a word if. Then you describe what you did. That is in the question. If I put the ice cream in the sunlight, so this part, you need to put it in this part of the hypothesis. And then it comes a comma. Look at the comma after the sunlight. So the comma, it goes after you put the part that is from the question. And then it comes the word then. Where? After the comma. Where do you put then? After the comma. And then the possible result. This you can invent it. In my case, I put the ice cream will melt. Will melt. Why will melt? Because you don't know if it's going to happen that or not. That's why it's a hypothesis. A hypothesis is something that you think it will happen or it will not happen. For this exercise, you are going to create a possible hypothesis according to the question. So remember to use the example of the ice cream. What will happen to my shadow if I move closer to the ground? This is the ground. This is the shadow. What will happen to my shadow if I move closer to the ground? So you need to write the hypothesis in here. Remember to use a part of the question like I did in my example. If I put the ice cream in the sunlight. If I put the ice cream in the sunlight. So what is the part that you need to put from the question in the hypothesis? Think about it. And then after you write that, you need to put a comma, then, and the possible result. Remember to put in the possible result will. Then the shadow will get bigger. Then the shadow will get smaller. Then the shadow will disappear. Those are possible results. You decide what is the possible result, because the important part here is to create a correct hypothesis with these words that I put in black in here. Not if the hypothesis is correct, if it's written correct. And here, in this experiment, I also give you the question, what will happen if I take an ice cube out of the freezer? Look at the question and create your hypothesis. If maybe you still have questions about how to write a hypothesis, you can always use the examples that you have about the ice cream. Okay, princess, I hope you understood the exercise. This is to practice how to write hypotheses and how to write correct scientific inquiry question. See you then. Bye bye.